Alright, the Solo Electronics fan, and I just got a bee in my bonnet that I like to compare this reel-to-reel to this one. Especially since I'm kind of thinking, which one do I want to keep? Because I don't want to keep both of them. One of the first things I looked at is, well, before I get there, actually, this is a 1970 as far as I can tell. I downloaded the service manual for this, and it did mention the date of 1974 for the print date on that. One of the few that have ever given me a date on their documentation. This thing was clean, but then it's been a while since I did that. So, this is obviously 4 years newer, so it's going to be maybe a little bit more advanced than this one in some ways. But, well, I'll just compare the features. Let's start right here. This is the flywheel that's supposed to help the wow and flutter. On this one, the flywheel, I believe, is mounted to the motor, the capstan drive motor. Both have this little spring-loaded doodad. This is just a roller that spins to allow the tape to travel without dragging on that. Of course, you've got this, and this is definitely well used. I'll show you in a minute. This one has a switch that you saw if you saw the previous video. This arm is the switch for this one. So that's a little different. Power. Oh, tape shift. This one, let's see, let's put, can I get light on that, maybe? Alright, can I get you? Maybe we will try this. I have another light that I could potentially use, but I noticed that at times it was prone to cause striations, and the light isn't steady, and the camera picks up lines in it. Okay, these right here, can I even get them to move? Yeah. Alright. Those two are the same, darn it, as this right here. And that on this one, these two bars are controlled by the tape shift button. And on the Pioneer, they're automatic. When you are rewinding or fast forwarding, those bars, come on, those bars are, can I get this? No, probably not. Those bars are automatically withdrawn when it's playing and come out when it's not. The design is pretty similar. One of the things that you'll notice, if I can get this to behave, maybe I can zoom in a little bit because it's not working well, and this may not help. All right. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. The camera is limited, and this flashlight might be too much. You can sort of see, if you look right on, well, that bar between these two heads, you can see the wear pattern in it. And when I was looking at it, I had this off and I was looking at it when I was using this, but even so, I was getting a clearer picture. That's pretty worn, surprisingly so. But the heads look pretty good. This thing's had more use, I think, than the other one had. Oh, come on. This is fun trying to do this in a camera through a mirror. Not ideal. There we go. Alright. So, I mean, the heads look pretty good. I did just clean them because they were badly in need of cleaning. So the tape lift function, and this one's automatic. You don't get to do that manually like the other one does. Let's go back here. Well, all right. Let's back up a little bit more so we can see both. Yeah, that's it. All right. So this one has left and right record levers, off, on. So it's been quite a while since I've used this, so I didn't realize that this one had the same setup as this one does. It's the same idea right here. Although this is a little bit different because this is the monitor. Well, actually, so these two functions have been separated on this one. Record left or right. This is monitor left and right. This is record left and right monitor. So with monitor you can't change, you can't select left or right. This is all you get. The only way you can do that is by using this control, which is of course split. Yeah. So you can rotate it so that one side is off or the other side is off, but so it's not as convenient as the setup they've got over here. This one has this Echo SOS. I question how much that gets used. This one does not have that. And this is the other button, the lever that I used a lot when I was transferring tapes, music from tapes, digitizing it, and so there were some advantages on this machine, at least, to using the pause button, because if I remember right, hitting play there was a lag when you're using pause on and off. If I remember right, the minute you turned pause off, it immediately started. So if you're trying to, if you had queued it up and you were ready to go now, and you're ready to hit record on your recording software, using this was a little bit easier because you would hit record here, hit off here, and immediately it would start playing. So you could, that time, that lead in that you had set up was pretty much what you wanted it to be. Let's see, our tape meter, which is up on this one, it's up top here. It's up here on this one, it's down here on this one. I guess it's a little bit closer. This cover does not come off because you don't change heads on this. This is simply a stereo unit. This was interesting. Reel adjusting sheet, 0.9 millimeter. I am not exactly sure why they have that. I don't know if there are different types of reels that are not exactly the same thickness. I'm not really sure. Actually, I have a user manual that I found a user manual and I did not download it, so I should probably look at that. Download it and look at that. Now, when I got this, it did need some work. One of the problems with this, I haven't played with this in a long time, but I believe the record head on this is toast. I think. I would have to investigate this to see if it's the record head or something, a component in the circuitry. This cover, yeah. You'd have to take the screws out of these, take these away, take this off, take that off, probably unscrew this. I think this could come off because I think I did rotate this little pin that's in here because it was worn. That lever would have to come off. There's an Allen wrench that would take that off. So there's a little bit of work to get that cover off. But most of what you want to do is readily accessible in the back. And I have had this apart. Oh, the other thing is this has feet on the bottom, as well as the back. So this one's designed specifically for, let's see, what do I want to use? This is designed for playing in either position. Okay. I have another powered screwdriver, but it's noisier than this by a lot. Okay. So I wanted to show you what's inside the back of this, and ooh, is that dusty? Wow, I didn't remember that. Oh, okay. The varnish that was covering the transformer has decided to curl up and turn into a mess. We have to get a vacuum in here. All right. There are a number of differences. Let's see if we can slide this forward a little bit more. There. And let's see. I think, can I? Okay, let's. All right. So I was trying to remember how the brakes worked in this, and I can see why I didn't have any problems with these. There's a belt, a metal belt that goes all the way around here, and on the face of it there's this felt material. Now this is fairly wide. Let's see. Somewhere in here I have, aha, this should do. It's not quite half an inch, like 3/8, something like that. So it's got this 3/8 inch wide steel band that goes all the way around this, and there's a solenoid on each side of these. Each side has its own solenoid. What did I run into? I know I had to, let's see, I was making noise there. Oh, I had to pull this out because things were all gummed up and it didn't want to work right. So I take these two screws out, slide this out, there's a belt right here that comes off. This is the flywheel. Let's see, let me just, I don't know if I can, I must see something here. Well, let's see if I can get this. I'm just going to try to take this bottom plate off. I've got come off now? But I don't remember doing this. No. Really? Okay. Yeah, I have a feeling I did not do this. I'm guessing that I worked around it. Okay, well, let's hope that that does it. Should. Okay. There. Now, let's see what we got. Oh, missed that one. How could I miss something that big? Are you going to count? Yes. All right. Oh, actually, I didn't need to do all of that. Oh, yes. Okay. I do want to take that off if I can. There. Okay. Let's see what I've got. All right. Well. All right. Well. It's a different design, and it's definitely the and do this. All right. It's got these wire wrap pins all over the place. I'm sure most people are familiar with wire wrap. You have a pin sticking out of the board, and you have a tool. These makes tools that you could manually do this, and you just stick the end of the wire in, and you wrap it around the pin. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Let's go up here. You probably didn't see the ones I was counting. Well, anyway, let's slide this around more and put more light in. Okay. Okay, so this isn't all that bad. This goes up to... So you got a fuse block here, circuit board with a couple of good sized capacitors. I'm betting that's part of the power supply. Yeah, I think it is. Is that? I don't know what you are. Yeah, diodes. Seems like there should be more. Oh yeah, there's the power, the transformers over here. Okay. And as I learned from the Sony, these motors are all capacitor driven motors, capacitive start, I believe. All right. So I was just curious to see about the difference in design, and I'm tempted to pop one of these circuit boards off so I can see what's on there. But I basically, all I really have, got this circuit board, and you got a circuit board here, here, and here. And that's it, unlike the Sony, which has 6. Let's see. I am curious. I want to see what is there. Aha. I love it. That's not ideal. Ooh. Oh. Okay. It looks like the plate that holds the controls and the gauges are part of this plate here, this frame here. And so if you really wanted to get at these more easily, you would probably use that. But I'm going to try to see if I can get in, maybe. Yeah. Of course it may, because the wire is wrapping around the edge, it may not let me pull it out this way. But I'm curious to see. Come on. Really? Okay. Let's see, are you going to let me pull you forward at all? We shall see. Oh, it goes that way. Mm-hmm. The wires are pretty tight. Yeah. Well, I don't know. You probably can't see much. I can't see much. So, it's interesting. Well, let's try to zoom in. See if I can get you to see some of what I'm seeing. And I guess I have to twist this a little bit more. As I pull this out, all I see are discrete transistors. I don't see any ICs on this. And I don't know, I really don't remember when ICs became more popular. Again, there is a ton of capacitors in this. But considering how complex the Sony is compared to this is just amazingly simple in comparison. Yeah. So let's. None of these are labeled as to what they are. Like I said, did download the service manual for this, and I could look and see what each one is. But the thing is, the Pioneer so far impresses me more. Number one, it's simpler. It would be a lot easier to fully restore this electronically compared to the Sony. Can I go this way? And a lot less expensive too, I'm sure. So that's interesting. Yeah, I know I'm pretty sure I did not have this part of the player apart. So come on, go. Why are you being difficult? Just because you can. Come on. Okay. Yeah. It's always fun when you kind of insert a screw and you're doing it at an angle. Angled screws like that. This is not quite the right size. Phillips, it really should have been this one, but I couldn't get into the head square enough to make that work. So, interesting. So, I'll just show you the bottom, just curious. Zoom out. And, oh, there we are. So there it is. So this is a block of switches for the front panel. I think this is power supply and some other things. And these are the only two boards that are apparently function boards. And then let's this way. Yeah, I don't see, and you can't see one in there, I dropped the camera down too far. So we've got a fuse block here, there's some switches, and there's a fuse over here, and Okay. So, as far as what I had to do to this when I was working on it, when I was trying to get it to go, I think I had to free up this. This is the switch that tells it whether the tape is there or not. And I think this had to come out in part because I wanted to rotate the pin that the tape rides against. This is all gummed up, so I had to take this out, clean it and lubricate it, and put it back in. So this is more what I was expecting to see. That's why on the Sony I was surprised at that little roller that the tape hits first. I thought that would be part of the motor drive, although I know that, you know, a three drive motor, a 3-motor reel to reel has one for each reel, and then this is the capstan motor. But I was kind of baffled at that flywheel. But the flywheel on this one is where I would expect it to be, and the one that I would expect to be more effective, because this is the capstan, which actually grabs the tape tightly, and so any wow and flutter is definitely going to be handled there. And the Sony apparently had pretty good specs, but what I remember of it. So yes, interesting. So, this is set up for 60 hertz or 50 over there. You can change I'm not going to worry about it because I don't need it, but got fuses everywhere. We've got fuses here and here, a fuse block here, we've got a fuse there. This is very well put together. What really impresses me is the brakes. You saw how small the brakes were in the Sony, and with the new leather I put on there, it's working well, even with the large tapes, because I have played large tapes on it and run it fast forward and rewind, and it's behaving the way it's supposed to. But this impresses me, and it's made out of felt. The braking material is made out of felt, so there's not much of a chance of that aging the way the leather would. And it's really it's kind of amazing that it uses. Oh well, huh? Okay. So apparently, when you're playing, these come in, and if you want to brake, it just lets go of it. Definitely nice. I like it. Yeah. So, I mean, the Sony has features on there that probably I would never use, and I'm not sure how often anybody would use SOS or Echo, which is kind of a neat feature. But if you're not going to use it, then it's not all that useful. But I like this setup. It's definitely a nice. It's definitely a lot simpler in design. Much simpler design. So these are the line-in, line-out connections, RCA. I wonder if that's a remote. Record, playback. Oh, okay. So you, what is that? 1, 2, 3. It's a 5-pin connector. Looks like you can plug that into something that could use that. I wonder if that. I wonder. Oh, and this actually has a ground. Oh, I wonder if this one does. I didn't notice. No. Okay. This actually has. This actually has a little ground. I guess if you were to hook up a turntable to this, but you also want to use a preamp, because I don't think you're going to get enough output to drive this. I don't believe. So yeah, so this is interesting to me. I'm truly amazed at the with the brakes. And that is a much better design than the Sony. Yeah. So after working on the Sony and seeing how complex that was, and reading about how other manufacturers did it simpler, about my Pioneer, and I was wondering, is it more simple? And the answer is yes. But it does everything that the Sony does. I mean, when you're dealing with a reel-to-reel, you're dealing with a fairly complex machine. Oh, let's see. I want to check something out. Okay, now I've activated my switch. These are still locked. Now, if I hit play, of course they're going like crazy because there's no tape on here. Now, alright, so I'm going to hit fast forward. Whoa! Wow! Really? So I hit fast forward. I'm hitting play, and now it plays. Well, I'll be darned. I'll have to check this, but I'm pretty sure the Sony doesn't do that with all its complexity. Whoa! I like it. It's a minor thing, but it's just kind of neat that they managed to figure out how to do that. So they created a timer circuit. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would have to look at sort of the schematic and see how they did that. But obviously, because if you just go straight to play, it automatically goes to play. The brakes are already on, so I guess that makes sense. And it activates both of them. So let's see. Play. Stop. Yep. Fast forward. Stop. Okay. I'm playing now. Alright, so, interesting. I like that. Well, can I? Let's go back to this one. Alright, now, you saw how the Panasonic, Pioneer, I don't know why I want to call it Panasonic. Pioneer. We saw how that worked. Alright, so we're going to activate this switch and hit fast forward. Yeah, look at that. Hit fast forward, hit play, and instantly it goes right to play. There's no stop, no brakes. So, I guess it's not a big deal, but it's different than how this works. The Sony has got a ton of circuit boards in it. It's very complex, and it does not have that feature. But 4 years later, Panasonic comes with a much simpler design that does something that it can't do, that the Sony can't do. Interesting. I'm very impressed. I really am amazed at the brakes they put in this thing. The fact that they used felt and then made it enough, because if the felt starts at the top, goes all the way around to here. So, I mean, it contacts just about half of this pulley. And I remember when I was using this, after I got it working, the brakes just worked, and I didn't have to worry about it. It actually had no trouble. Now I see why. I mean, at the time I didn't pay attention to this, or I just didn't remember. But now, having worked on 2 other reel-to-reels and seeing how inadequate the braking system is, this is pretty neat. I'm impressed. Well, I'm going to stop here for a minute. I'm going to put this back together. So the next thing I want to do, though, is I want to play a tape on both of these. And I did find out on my Sony recording that the German tape that I found can be played without getting hit with a copyright strike. I'm not sure what music it is, and it's not because it's German, because I have another German tape where they're singing and playing, singing in German, playing their polkas or whatever it was that I was listening to. And I checked that with Shazam or whatever that app was, and it found it immediately and told me what it was. So that one, whatever that music was copyright protected. The other one doesn't seem to be. So I can use that to play with these and we get an idea of how well they sound. So I'll be right back. Well, I downloaded my user's manual and I learned some interesting things I had no idea about. Start with this. You can lock this little pin out of the way so you can more easily thread the tape in. When you're ready, just push up and it releases. I've owned this thing for, I don't know, a long time, 20 years. I didn't know it did that. I just didn't know. The other thing I just learned, well, I went looking for information on these and it doesn't say, reel adjusting sheet, it doesn't tell me much about those. I don't know why those are on there. But it came with that. I've left them on. I haven't seen any trouble with that, so I'm not sure why those are there. Now, I mentioned that this had echo and sound on sound, and they have a switch that makes it very easy. But guess what? This has, well, for instance, I mentioned on the Sony that you could mix mic and input, line input. But they've got sound on sound. They explain how to use this to do that. Echo recording, you get a special cable that you could use to do that. See, you could get, they apparently had timer switches that you could use to do time start. I don't know that there's anything special about the timer as long as it has two inputs that will let you turn this on. So you put your power button on here and your power button on your stereo, and when the timer goes off, things happen. And this can be set up to record. Getting it ready to go, you push and record and play, I believe. I think I tried recording on this once and it failed. Oh, the other thing I want to do, maintenance. Okay. Tape shifter. Okay, they want you to clean these things. The tape shifter, they talk about using a cleaning ribbon to clean your heads. I just use a Q-tip with alcohol. Okay. Use the accessory head cleaning ribbon. They have a cleaning bar. They make a cleaning bar available. They had a picture of that, didn't they? Can you go by it? I don't see it. But they showed a picture of a cleaning bar, cleaning the heads with that. I don't ever recall seeing one of those. So demagnetizing the heads, tape shifter, tape guide, tape a demagnetizer. Okay, so they mention all right, lubrication. The following places: capstan bearing and pinch roller shaft. When I got this, that was practically seized up. I had fun getting it apart and getting it lubricated because it hadn't been in forever. So, but I'm kind of amazed that I didn't know about that little trick with that arm, so you could thread your tape in easier. Anyway, yeah, I could have sworn I saw that, but I don't see it here. Oh yeah, so DIN. This is a DIN connector. I was trying to think of the name of it. If your stereo amplifier has one of those, you use this instead of the RCA jacks to connect. So you have a good special DIN cable, plug that in, don't worry about this, and you're connected. So that was the only other thing. So even though this doesn't have all the features necessarily built in, doesn't mean they aren't available to you for this. I was going to get a tape, and we're going to compare these two just to see if one has a better sound than the other. Just kind of curious about that. But once again, I did something with the tape and it's not right here. Alright. Well, this was interesting. I played through this tape and I wasn't excited about any of the music. I'll back up. I was looking for something better. So I grabbed another German tape made by the same person, James Last. And that one is mostly copyrighted music. So the ones that I found that I liked that I wanted to test with, well, I would have gotten dinged for those for sure. Thankfully, it was I happened to think to test that first. Now, a couple of other things. This roller, I had cleaned it in the past, but the tape was actually starting to wander around a little bit, so I cleaned this thoroughly with alcohol, and it got better. But then I realized something else. This has a reel size button. If you're using 7-inch reels, it's got to be in. If you're using 10-inch reels, it's got to be out. I'm guessing that they change how much torque the motor is putting out depending on what size reel you're using. So the other thing that was happening was when I would do fast forward before I put this where it was supposed to be, and then I would stop it, it was putting too much torque on it, and the tape was actually curling around the edge. Whoops, let me back up. The tape was actually curling around the edge of the tape that was already on there and trying to go between the two, because there was just too much torque on there. So that was a mistake. So, so cleaning this didn't fix that. This is what fixed that problem. It's been quite a while since I've used this. I've just been busy with other things, and I wasn't doing stuff with this. And I've got tapes that I want to go through and find out what I've got and label them and make them available for listing at some point in the future if I want to. The other thing I didn't mention was that this has a record. There's a bias and an EQ lever, standard low-high. I haven't, actually I could look, let me just see what that is. I don't think that's a feature that the Sony has. Let's see, what does it tell me? Okay. I don't know what's going on with the other software, but this one's working. Alright, so let's swing this around. So EQ, standard for normal conventional tape, LH, low noise, high output tape. Same with the bias switch, standard for regular tape, and then the other LH is again high output tape, low noise, high output tape, but I guess that's what LH stands for. So It's kind of like the Sony special button, normal and special button. But the in this case, though, the Sony one is designed for, that button is designed for using the Sony special tape. So anyway, well, this is a handy thing to have it lock. I find myself forgetting to unlock it, and that doesn't work well either with this. So keeping this roller clean makes a difference, because and again, I think there was too much torque because I had it in the wrong reel size. I could actually watch the tape wander back and forth, and it was affecting the clarity of the playback. It would keep wandering in and out. It would go mute, or very muddy, and then clean, muddy, clean. So that button's kind of important. Cleaning this up actually did help that quite a bit, but obviously the real fix is changing the reel size to the right thing. So if you have one of these and you didn't know what that button was for, or you forget to use it and your tape is acting up, small tapes especially, then that's what's wrong, pretty sure, unless this is really, really bad. This feels a whole lot better now that I cleaned it. It's got a little bit more grip to it. I've done a lot on this, some of the tapes that I've been recording from, trying to save them, because these were a number of them, a lot of them were home recordings, and the tapes were very old, and they're now, a lot of that stuff is now stored digitally elsewhere. But the one of the tapes I had one shot to get it off, because as it was playing, the magnetic material was shredding and just dusting off when it came around this. And it literally, the surface, the material, the magnetic material, magnetic medium, however you want to put it, was actually shaving off as it was going through the recorder. So I got everything off from it that I could. Some of it was pretty bad and pretty much unusable, but other stuff, it was okay, but it wasn't going to play again. So I've had some pretty nasty tape go through this, and it probably didn't help the cleanliness of that. So I've got my stereo set up. We're going to listen to this tape on here, and then we'll move it over here and see how it sounds there. Just kind of curious. I was really happy with this when I was doing things with it. Some of the ways that I was able to salvage tape, I have an EQ with, I don't know, like 10 EQ settings. It's stereo, so it's got two left and rights, but you've got EQ settings that you can adjust. And I was able to get stuff off from the tapes using that to help clean up some of the, well, the tape had aged and it was getting muddy, but using the EQ made a difference. It made it usable. I could actually save it and store it somewhere that it wouldn't degrade. So, but this gives you an idea of what this sounds like. So the clarity that the old reel-to-reels can provide. Now right now my treble button is this way. It's not all the way down. This is normal. This is kind of halfway between normal and then full. So it's halfway between normal and full. Bass is a little bit beyond normal. It depends on what tape you're listening to. Some tapes, well actually that was on the Sony. Well, alright, so we'll see. So we're going to play this and see how it sounds. I got that zeroed, okay. Okay, I'm going to stop there. That's probably plenty. I'm going to rewind this back to 0, hopefully. And oh, I want to show you the difference between the pause button and hitting play. I hit play. Now sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there's a lag when you hit play, especially if you have just rewound. Even if you're not going straight from rewind to play, or fast forward or rewind, if you've used either one of those and you hit play, there will be a delay and then it will actually play. If I put pause on and I hit the play and then I release it, it starts immediately. It's kind of weird. Alright, so, okay, so I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn this down so I can swap over to here. And it's out. Alright, so this is ready. So we're going to take this and I want this there. That makes it easier. Oh, I go. That's not the way you're supposed to treat your tape. No. Alright. Okay. Yes, you're trying to go around. It's trying to invert on me. That's not kind. Let me just let's spin this over so you can see what I'm doing. All right. The tape was trying to flip over on me, which is not ideal. Okay, so do this. Oh, and by the way, the Sony does not. You can't lock this down. I haven't decided whether that's a good idea or not, especially since I tend to forget to unlock it. Okay. Power on. Okay. Helps if you do the right thing. Oh. Okay. How many ways am I going to screw up? That's there. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. I can hear some sound. Okay, I don't need to play that as long as the other one did. The Sony seems to have more bottom end, and it's definitely very crisp. Yeah, so I'm kind of surprised at that. Definitely surprised. I want to play this one again. Since I'm stopping it in the middle, why not this time? And of course I forgot that. actually they're very similar. Both decent bottom end, nice clean top end. So, I mean, the Sony sounds really, really nice, but the Pioneer does too. Because I'm trying to decide which one I really want to keep, and I'm kind of thinking, I'm kind of leaning toward the Pioneer. Number one, it's a little bit newer, 4 years. It's not nearly as complex electronically as the Sony. I really like my pause button. I've used that a lot, and I find it very handy when I'm and I don't think I'm done yet with grabbing music from tapes to digitize. So I think I would find that one handier to use, because basically that's like a queuing function. It starts up right away, and I've used it a lot, and I've gotten used to it, and I kind of like it. This one doesn't have that option. It's a nice unit. Now that I've got it repaired, the brakes on this thing work beautifully. I've had large reels on here. After I repaired it, I was going through some stuff, and it's behaving like a model citizen now. I can't think of anything on here that's not working the way it should be. I think I mentioned that when I cleaned this control was pretty noisy. It would pop and carry on when you were switching between source and tape. And as I used it over time, the popping, I sprayed it pretty good. I cleaned it thoroughly, and it didn't right away clean up, but as I used it, it straightened out, and so now it's behaving like it should. So no noise from here. The controls seem to all work. It does record. Some of the tapes, it was acting like there were dropouts and there was some noise, so not sure what that's about. And I'm dealing with old tape. A lot of it, though, is good quality, but still it's old tape, so I don't know if that's it. But and I do like the fact that you can go straight from fast forward to play, and it puts the brakes on, and then it starts playing. You don't have to go forward, stop, play. The only thing that's even slightly annoying about that is anytime you use fast forward or rewind or fast forward, it puts that delay in there when you hit play. But if you have it on pause, the minute you take it off pause, it goes immediately. So that's handy to have. So I'm kind of leaning toward this one. The difference between the two, if you were doing a recording on this, and if you had a need for SOS, sound on sound, or echo, this would be the easier deck to use. If you were wanting to deal with tapes on a regular basis that you could only get one channel, you only use one channel because something else is on there going backwards or something, or you've got another channel that's going the same direction yours, but it's something else, it's different material. And this is definitely handier that way. It's not like you can't do it with that one. I guess it's like a coin flip. They're both working great. I really think that despite the fact that this has had more miles on it, more tapes run through it, I have a feeling this one's going to hold up better. That's my thought anyway. So I'm kind of leaning toward this one. I probably will keep this. It's not like I'm going to be a heavy user of reel-to-reel tape, but there are times when I like to play with it, and there are things that I'd like to recover, and I can use this or this to do that. So, yeah. And I'm just spending way too much time debating back and forth, and I guess I should do this off camera. So, I am going to wrap up here. I was kind of curious to see what the difference was between the two, and now I have a pretty good handle on that. So now I can make my decision. And if you're looking to get a reel-to-reel, maybe this will help you decide one way or the other. You get a Sony that's in good shape, then it's probably worth getting if the price is right. The Pioneers, I think if you're going to buy a Pioneer, you are going to pay more for it. So that's the other factor. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up. I really am. I'm wrapping up now. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully you'll join me next time.